Welcome back, my magical star beings. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at a no contact reading. What would they say to break the silence between you? So in question 1, we're going to take a look at how they would break the silence and what would go through their mind before they reach out. Then in question 2, we're going to take a look at what they would say to break the silence. And in question 3, potential timing of when they could reach out and zodiacs. So for pile number 1, we have red jasper with the 2 of wands. For pile 2, we have rose quartz with the page of swords. And for pile 3, we have citrine with the 9 of cups. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. You can either pick your pile based off your zodiac, their zodiac, which is in the thumbnail, or the one you're most drawn to. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below. Then I'll see you at your reading. If you'd like to support the channel by watching the ad segments of the reading, the sponsored segment, then I would appreciate it because it is going to show up now. I'll try to be as accurate as I can, but it is a bit tricky when reading for the collective. If you want something more personal, you can always check in with the psychic for a more in-depth description. Speaking of which, I tried a clairvoyant from Psychic Source, and yes, they're sponsoring today's video. Thank you, Psychic Source. I got matched with a clairvoyant through their site, and honestly, I wasn't expecting her to be that accurate. I gave her no personal info, just asked about my future love life, and somehow she instantly picked up that I'm already in a relationship. She literally said, "Why are you asking about the future without mentioning him?" I was literally speechless, but then I remembered that's kind of what I do too. Still a shocking experience to be on the receiving end of it. She described my future partner as someone who makes me really happy, with great communication and bond that can handle anything. But the part that really stuck with me, she said she saw my future husband giving me purple flowers. A few weeks later, nothing happened, so I kind of forgot about it. Then we saw a tattoo promo on Instagram. My boyfriend sent me his ideas so I can book, and boom, a purple flower. Not a bouquet, but I'm definitely taking that as a sign. You can chat with gifted advisors however you're most comfortable, phone, video, or even text. Setting up my account on their website was super easy, and they have this quick little quiz that helps you find a psychic based on what you're looking for, whether it's love, past lives, energy readings, whatever. It made the whole process really personal and intentional. What sets them apart is the level of care and integrity. Only 2% of their applicants actually become advisors, so you know you're speaking to someone who's truly gifted and held to high ethical standards. And they back everything up with a no-risk guarantee. If you're not happy with your last paid reading, it's free. For a limited time, you can use my code Siren at psychicsource.com when checking out, or you can just click the link in my description box below at trypsychicsource.com/siren. You'll get up to 40 minutes with an advisor for just $19.80. That's up to a $240 value. You don't have to use it all in one session. You can spread those minutes out across multiple advisors to see who you truly resonate with. They also donate 1% of your purchase to charity at no extra cost to you. Oh, and yes, I do get paid for this promo, so when you sign up with Psychic Source, you're feeding a perpetually hungry, slightly dramatic psychic, that'd be me, and funding my next impulsive crystal purchase. As you can see, the channel needs some new crystals, but that's all for now. Thank you again to Psychic Source for sponsoring today's video. Pile 1, you chose the red jasper crystal and the 2 of wands card. We're going to take a look at what would they say to break the silence between you for your no contact situation. So let's get straight into your reading. So spirit guides of pile number 1, please tap me into the energy of the person on their mind in this no contact situation. Please show me how would they break the silence between pile number 1 and them. How would they break the silence between pile 1 and them? So we have White Newman as your first card. How would they break the silence between them? The Magician and the Fool. So in my mind's eye, I'm seeing over text message. They will most likely type out something to you over the phone. I'm seeing quite of a nervousness there of like them wanting to reach out, them wanting to text you something while they're busy with something, kind of like impulsively. The Fool can represent kind of just taking a risk and saying, F it, let's just do it. I've been thinking of doing this for a while and let me just do it. Let me just take the risk. The Fool is all about like, kind of like an impulsivity maybe. So maybe it would be an impulsive text message. The Magician would be them kind of like wanting to create some kind of new connection with you, kind of new beginning with you next to the Fool. And this would come from like wanting to break the silence and create some kind of new connection here. One thing I will say is there would most likely be positive intentions here with this person and them feeling like they don't want to lose the connection with you, that they would rather reach out, take a risk, than lose something between the two of you. So what would go through their mind before they reach out? What would go through their mind before they reach out? We have the Hierophant. What would go through their mind? The Chariot, the Empress, and the Four of Wands. So both the Hierophant and the Four of Wands are cards of commitment. So this is about this person wanting to commit to you, wanting to stay loyal to you, perhaps even staying loyal to you while you're in this no contact situation, not talking to anybody else, because they just can't get their mind off of you, that they wouldn't want to like even talk to anybody else, even though you're not in contact at the moment. So there's something about them also feeling very insecure, feeling like, am I even good enough for you? I feel like something happened between the two of you that made them almost feel like, what if I'm not good for you? And again, I see pure intentions here when they reach out. I see them wanting to treat you well, not wanting to come in with bad intentions or hurt you or anything like that. But there's some kind of like self-consciousness around, would I even be a good partner for you or good friend? For most of you, this is partner because of the Four of Wands, which represents marriage, commitment. Doesn't necessarily mean that you will get married to this person, but maybe this person has intentions of having a future with you. And that's kind of going through their mind before they reach out. But this person knows that they maybe have certain flaws, certain things about them that are not so great. And it almost feels like they want to have self-control and not let maybe the worst parts of themselves out in the connection. Because perhaps for some of you that happened previously where it kind of like poisoned the connection slowly, you know, like letting out the worst parts of them, which is why those insecurities and self-worth wounds are coming up, because it's like, would I even be a good partner to you? Would I even be good enough to be next to you? So that's kind of their concern here, and that's kind of what's making them overthink and hold back from reaching out right now. But like I said, when they do break contact, it will kind of be an impulsive thing of, F it, let me just do it because I miss this person, I don't want to lose this person, and I'm going to try my best to kind of show up in a better way this time. I see them kind of begging for you back, which we'll take a look further into that into the next question when we check what they say. But I kind of see a text message of like, baby, please take me back. I'll do better next time. Like that kind of energy of begging for you back. And with a Hierophant here, I heard that they learned their lesson. So maybe the silence between you kind of taught them a lesson, taught them to look at their own behavior and self-reflect in some way. And I do think they're coming back more self-aware than ever before. They have realized where they went wrong, and that's kind of going through their mind before they reach out, where they think, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to like, you know, fall back into the same patterns of behavior again. I've learned my lesson. I want to come back a better version of myself. Now, even though this is showing up in their thoughts that they want to come back a changed, better version of self, I think you should still take a look at their actions to see if that's reflecting that. I see them feeling like they've missed you so much. Like, they don't want to lose that connection with you. I see them possibly going on some kind of trip, traveling somewhere, seeing other couples around them, and almost feeling like I miss you so much. What I'm seeing in my mind's eye is, like in movies when two people go through like a separation, and then they kind of like see other couples around them, and then they start thinking back to the positive memories with that person, and then they feel like, oh, I miss that person. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting here. And what I'm seeing in my mind's eye when I look at the Chariot, the Empress here, of like, you're my person. I don't want anybody else. Like, I tried to move on, not by like looking at anybody else, but like I tried to move on, but I couldn't. And I feel like I want this back. There is no other way. This is just like the energy of you're the one. You're the one I want to be with. Nobody else. Although they would reach out in an impulsive way with the Fool, the Two of Wands as your main indicator card tells me that they've kind of been planning this out in their head for a while, thinking, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? And finally coming to a decision of, yes, I need to do this. I can't let this person go. I miss this person. And I see a lot of loyalty here with all the dog-like images showing up. Even at the back of the deck, there's like, I don't know if that's a dog, but yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the next question. So what would they say to break the silence between pile number 1 and the person on their mind? What would they say to break the silence between them? So we have the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is all about this energy of I still feel attached to you. It is a little bit of a clingy energy. They might not say I've been clingy, but there is a little bit of a clingy energy showing up with the Four of Pentacles of like, I'm still attached to you. I can't let you go. The Four of Pentacles is about holding on very tightly to something and not being able to let it go. So they may say, I've been holding on to this connection tightly. I've been missing you. I tried to let you go, but I feel like I can't. You still run through my mind every day. I still have feelings for you with the Knight of Cups. I still love you. I still miss you. They will kind of pour their heart out to you and try to have like some kind of heart-to-heart conversation with you. But I also hear the word apologies. So they may apologize for past behavior, like I said earlier. They may kind of try to like beg for you back, try to like show up with a changed behavior. And say that they're showing up with a changed behavior, that they learned their lesson. We have the Lovers. So they may say, I still love you. I never stopped loving you. We have the King of Pentacles. But what I feel with this Lovers card is there's kind of like a doubt that creeps through here of like, what if you don't feel the same way? What if I can't measure up to these promises I'm giving you? Because it's almost like they want to come back a changed person. They've learned their lesson, but they're scared maybe they go back to old patterns. They're scared that maybe they're not good enough for you. They might say that to you, they might not, but there's that underlying feeling here of when they say, I still love you, I still miss you, I want you back. There's this kind of energy behind it of like, what if I can't measure up to what you want? What if I can't be good enough for you? I see them asking to meet up with you in person and talk in person properly so that they can tell you everything that's been on their mind. And when they do meet up with you in person, I see them overcompensating a little bit with the King of Pentacles by either taking you out on an expensive date or buying you a gift or something. The King of Pentacles shows some kind of spending of money, but maybe something a little bit more expensive. They might either buy you a gift, buy you flowers, something along those lines to almost overcompensate, but I don't think they're doing that consciously to manipulate you in any way. It's not coming through that way, but it's like, when you feel bad that you did something previously and you almost like want to go above and beyond to make it up to the person. That's kind of what I feel here. They might say, I want to make it up to you for how I acted in the past. I feel like I've grown. I feel like I've learned a lot from these experiences. And I want to show you a different version of myself. That's what they would say. They would say, you're the one you've always been. I can't move on from you, even if I tried. The Five of Pentacles, they would say that they missed you, that they felt your absence, that it was so lonely without you, that they may have even felt like reaching out, they would be rejected by you in some way. They would talk about like how they're scared of or they were scared that you would like reject them or ignore them or just leave their message unread in some way, and that they're so glad and grateful you met up with them. I see them like trying to kiss your cheek or trying to kiss you in my mind's eye, but then you kind of like turn your head so that they only kiss your cheek. Your demeanor with them would kind of be open, like you're open to hear what they say, but you're not fully letting them back in. And I think this person would respect those boundaries and know that, okay, I have to like slowly show them change and show them consistency with the King of Pentacles. But I think they're coming with this very grounded energy with both these Pentacle cards and this loving emotional energy with the Knight of Cups of like, I want to show up in this reliable way. I want to keep my promises I'm making to you. I've come back grown. That's the kind of energy they're showing back up in. Though at the end of the conversation, I'm kind of jumping to the end of the conversation. I don't know why. And there's this feeling of you guys reconnecting in a way. And it's almost like I see you guys talking about like past memories and laughing about it together. And then I see you guys just like making out in a way where you can't keep your hands off one another. And it may lead to some kind of sexual experience between the two of you. That's what I'm seeing and feeling energetically in my mind's eye and feeling energetically. So yeah, something like might happen impulsively where you don't mean to sleep with them, but it's almost like you get wrapped up in the moment of passion and of missing them back. And you might even say impulsively like, oh, I missed you too. I missed these moments we always shared together. We have the Six of Pentacles and we have the Queen of Pentacles. They might ask you how you've been doing, if you've been holding up okay. They might talk about the pain of losing you, how hard it was being without you, how lonely it felt being without you, and how just being in your presence again feels like home to them. I also heard the word curiosity, so they might ask you a lot of questions about how you're doing, where you're at the moment, just kind of like trying to reconnect with you in some way, catch up with you in some way. And it will be a very beautiful experience of you guys sitting in front of each other in person and kind of just like talking again, reconnecting again. With the Queen of Pentacles, they might ask you about your career, like where you're at the moment, how your career is going, or how your studies are going. They might show more of a protective side towards you. They might show up in a more grounded, stable way than before. And you might see that in their demeanor and energy, not necessarily their words. With the Queen of Wands at the back of the deck, they might compliment you a lot, almost give you some kind of ego boost. But it's coming from genuinity. But I also think it's a little bit of overcompensation for maybe what happened before. That I don't think they're like trying to manipulate you in any way, but I think subconsciously they're almost trying to overcompensate for what happened previously, and they're trying to make up for it, and it kind of shows through their demeanor, the way they speak to you. The Six of Pentacles confirms what I said about them overcompensating by giving you something, whether it be a gift, paying for an expensive dinner. The Six of Pentacles is all about generosity, so that confirms what I said, but they might also be generous with details of like how they've been feeling without you. They might be generous with details of what's going on in their life. They might try to spend a lot of time with you and put a lot of effort into the conversation with the Six of Pentacles. So what else would they say to break the silence between Pile number 1 and the person on their mind. Okay, we have the Nine of Swords. They will talk about how worried they were that you wouldn't respond, like I said before. The Nine of Swords confirms that. They will talk about fears they have, like moving forward in the connection, and insecurities they have that I spoke about before, of like maybe not feeling good enough for you. 10 of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles. Again, 2 of Pentacles confirms what I said about coming through with this grounded, reliable energy. And with the 10 of Pentacles, it's kind of like they have intentions of wanting a future with you, wanting stability with you, and wanting to treat you right this time around in a more consistent way. They might say that to you and make those promises to you and talk about like the kind of future they would want with you that they're afraid wouldn't happen if you guys were to remain out of contact. And they would tell you like, yeah, I just did this impulsively, like I've been thinking about it for a long time and I'm so glad you responded back to me. The Knight of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Swords. Okay, I want to confirm this 7 of Swords card because I did feel positive intentions, the Devil and the Ace of Wands. Oh, this is what I spoke about, because Ace of Wands is like sexual energy. The Devil is lust. So 7 of Swords is like maybe them trying to hide how attracted they are to you, how lustful they feel about you, if that makes sense. But it's like towards the end of the meeting, it's like they just can't hide it anymore. They just need you right now. And they might tell you that towards the end, like, you know, I've been needing you, like I've been craving you. I just can't let you go. That kind of energy is coming through. Yeah. And you might feel that way too, where it's like you try to like hold back a little bit from like being too sexual too fast, but you somehow end up being there, if that makes sense, unintentionally with the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Pentacles at the back of the deck confirms what I said about them also putting in a lot of effort into this meeting or conversation and trying to just like open up their heart with you with the hands over the heart. And all the green here, this is like heart chakra energy. So they're really opening up their heart to you in this conversation. They're really being genuine with you. The 9 of Pentacles talks about their independence, how, oh, 9 of Pentacles is not here. Sorry, I read this wrong. I thought this was the 9 of Pentacles, but since I thought that, I'm just going to give that message anyway. I feel like they will talk about how they gained more independence being without you, but that they don't want to continue being without you. The 3 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords talks about them maybe making a plan of like how you could maybe work together in the future to ensure whatever happened before doesn't happen again, how you will work together when fights arise, when conflicts arise, when you're just like angry at each other, how we will kind of work through those situations together when that arises, how we will communicate. So 7 of Cups, the 10 of Cups. The Hermit, the 8 of Cups. They will talk about the experience of being alone without you and how alone they felt. Again, with the Hermit, the 8 of Cups, how it felt like when you left or when they left, depending on who left. 2 of Swords, the 8 of Wands, the 4 of Wands, and the Hanged Man. I guess they will talk about your future and the kind of future they want, what they wish for with the 7 of Cups, which talks about your relationship with the 10 of Cups, like you guys having that long-term relationship and future together with the 4 of Wands, that commitment they want. So they'll talk about committing to you in some way, and they'll talk about like how long it would take to get there. So maybe like time expectations with the Hanged Man of like, okay, maybe by this time I'd like us to maybe live together or be together in some way or whatever. There's this feeling of them saying, I don't want to rush things with you. But if things happen faster, like it's not because I'm trying to rush you or anything like that. It's just because I missed you so much that I can't just like stay away from you. But they'd say, I'll try to take it slow with you and give you time to kind of like trust me again, or kind of like forgive me again with the hangman. That's them giving you time in some way. Maybe even saying, I'm not going to pressure you to make a decision with the hangman, two of swords. I'm going to give you time to make your own decision, to decide if you want to be with me or not. And I am going to take action on whatever I've promised you with the Eight of Wands. So that's what I basically see here. Straightforward message. Again, there's something about like them talking about how nervous they were, how they just impulsively like reached out. One last thing I heard right now was they would kind of test your reaction a little bit. They would start slowly by saying the things that are on their mind, and they would kind of like test your reaction, not in a bad way, but like see how you're reacting to them, and then they tell you more as you give a good reaction. But they don't want to like just tell you everything that's on their mind all of a sudden, and then you have a bad reaction to it, if that makes sense. So that's what I see there. I also see a potential of you maybe feeling split. You feel confused. You feel like you don't know whether you should take this person back. One part of you misses them and another part of you is unsure. And you might tell them that. And they might say, that's okay, I'll give you time. But I just saw the angel number 555, so things may change after this conversation positively, because 555 is an angel number of positive change. So potential timing of when they could reach out. We have the devil. I hear I long for you right now. The devil, the Five of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. Okay, these cards together do indicate a slow, stagnant, or delayed timeline, especially with the Pentacle cards, because these are more slow-moving cards. But with the Pentacle cards, the positive thing about this is because it's slow-moving, it's coming from more of a grounded place of when they're truly ready to reach out, when they're truly ready to make that change, to learn their lesson. That is when they're going to reach out. But they're coming from this more mature energy with the Pentacle cards, which is the great thing about the Pentacle cards, even though they're more slow moving. And especially with the Devil and Seven of Swords, this is talking about them kind of trying to hide their feelings. The Seven of Swords talking about them kind of like wanting to back out last minute every time they try to reach out. In the beginning, I saw them texting you, and I kind of felt that energy of like sending a message, typing out a message, not sending it, to retyping it. So there's a little bit of an overthinking here of like hiding their kind of attachment to you with the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords, because they don't want to like come back and you reject them possibly with the Five of Pentacles. But what I will say about timing is timing's not set in stone with tarot. We're just reading the current energy. Just because I see this right now doesn't mean this can't change or shift into a better energy. Not that it's not already good, but you get what I mean. I keep seeing the angel number 555, so things could change, and 5 could be significant in terms of timing. We also have 5 here. So the devil is Capricorn energy, so this could potentially happen around December this year or January this year, next year, I mean, if you're watching this right now. But of course, this is a timeless reading, so take it how it applies when you're watching this. But Earth is slow energy as well. So the devil often means something isn't moving yet because there's attachment, control, or obsession keeping it in place. This can represent weeks to months, often pointing to Capricorn season, or whenever someone finally breaks a toxic loop, which confirms what we said earlier, them coming back when they learned the lesson. The Five of Pentacles is also earth energy, so it's very slow. This timing can feel like a cold period, emotional or physical distance. Things may stay inactive until one person gets tired of isolation. So this is the slowest card in this group, often 5+ weeks, or when someone finally hits a breaking point emotionally. But for some of you, the Pentacle cards can also represent years, but I don't think that's for everybody. The Four of Pentacles is also Earth, holding back, clinging, resisting change. So this will only happen when they stop resisting change. Like we mentioned with that 555 number, change is going to happen, but it will only happen when they're able to be open to the change and able to work through their insecurities of, can I even be a good partner to you, with the Seven of Swords here. So this represents timing feeling paused, someone being protective, stubborn, or afraid to open up. The timing cue is not now, usually another month or two delay before real movement. And I'm giving different timings because there's many people watching. So the Seven of Swords is air energy. It's faster but secretive. So this means that they want to reach out, but they're kind of, again, hiding their feelings, kind of like secretive about how they feel in some way. So communication or action can happen behind the scenes first, not open contact yet. That means maybe like writing out a text message in their notes, planning out what they're going to say first before they actually communicate. So this timing cue is within a few weeks, but it's usually indirect or sneaky, like checking your social media or asking about you first to kind of test the waters. So combined timing. So contact or movement is delayed, possibly blocked until Capricorn season. There might be indirect communication or background energy, which is watching, thinking, or strategizing in the next 2 to 4 weeks. And the person is still resistant but still attached, meaning the energy is tied up even when silent. So movement is slow and guarded. You might sense them watching or thinking about you soon, but real communication or reconnection doesn't solidify until late December to January, unless someone breaks free from their pride or control issues sooner. So now I'm going to remove these and take a look at zodiacs and initials for extra confirmation. So I keep feeling that sexual energy between the two of you. Like, I keep feeling that happen, like, over and over again. So I'm hoping that I get your sign or their sign. I'm just shaking this around, seeing what falls out or what stands out, then I'll take it. But even if your sign doesn't show up and you resonated, that's enough. So I'm going to remove these and get the initials now. This also fell down. Okay, I think we got enough there. So let me know down below in the comments so far how this has resonated with you. And if your zodiac or their zodiac or initial does come through, let me know down in the comments. I'm just interested to hear how you feel about the reading. We have Gemini, Capricorn, which confirms Capricorn season. We also have Cancer energy. And we have Sagittarius. I keep feeling that their insecurities are holding them back. The insecurities of maybe not being able to be a good partner or friend. So Cancer, Sagittarius, Taurus. We have a lot of earth sign energy here. And Virgo, which kind of confirms what I said in the cards. And then our last one is Scorpio here. Okay, now the initials. We have P. I'm hearing wake up, so they are going to have some kind of spiritual awakening, T, or some kind of like wake up call before they reach out, W. And this is about like past behaviors of theirs that they want to fix, WB. We have I. I also see like after this meeting, like you could make plans again soon. Like I see somebody going to like some kind of carnival or like, you know, those places with like roller coasters or like merry-go-rounds, those kind of places. It's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, like you going together and them kind of like trying to play one of those games where they catch a bear for you or something. So IOH, we have L. We have S, Q, A, Z. They might even hear about you from somebody before, like hear some kind of news about you from somebody before they reach out. O and N. Like I see a brother of theirs or a male friend or something like that. So that is all I have for you. I do hope this reading resonated. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you like my readings and want to see more exclusive videos of mine, you can check out my membership if you want. So yeah, thank you for being here and watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Pile 2, you chose the Rose Quartz Crystal and the Page of Swords card. We're going to take a look at your no contact situation and what they would say to break the silence between you. So let's get started with your reading. So spirit guides of pile number 2, please tap me into the energy of the person on pile 2's mind. Please tap me into the energy of this person and what they would say to break the silence between them. How would they break the silence firstly? So we have the Devil card. We have the Hanged Man. We have the Two of Swords. We have the Four of Wands. And we have the Eight of Wands. Okay, so I'm seeing that they would most likely show up at your house if they know where you live, or show up at your door. The interesting thing I'm seeing is it would most likely be trying to meet up with you in person and discuss this in person. Okay, so the interesting thing I'm seeing, 111, I'm seeing the scene from Big Bang Theory when Sheldon and his girlfriend break up and he's kind of like knocking on her door the whole time, trying to return her things to her, right? After the breakup, and he keeps trying, but she's kind of like rejecting him the whole time. And he even tries to make her jealous by like bringing Penny's bra there, which makes sense with the devil here. This person may try to like make you jealous to almost get you to reach out before they reach out, or like during the reach out, they may try to like say, oh, I've been like seeing somebody else, even though they aren't, just to like almost make you jealous or make you riled up, which is not the best energy, but I see it here honestly. So I'm going to tell you what I see so that you know what to expect. This may almost make you feel like, oh, I don't want to take this person back because they haven't grown or changed. They almost like showed me exactly why I left them in the first place, or why we stopped speaking in the first place. The Hangman here is almost like you feeling like there's been so much time between us spent apart that I thought they would have like grown by now, but it's still clear they're still the same version of themselves with the devil. And your feelings in that are perfectly valid, pile number 2, but I feel like if I have to be unbiased, it's not coming from this bad place of like wanting to still be that same version of themselves. There is this energy of like obsession, almost like trying to make you jealous because they're obsessing over you. But I don't think their intentions were negative in the first place. I think they almost like just try to get a reaction out of you to see if you care. But they're not showing up in the healthiest way, which may almost make you push back a little bit or not want to speak to them or close the door on their face. Because I see you're opening up the door and closing the door on their face. The Hangman can represent some time spent between the two of you before they reach out. Like, they might reach out only after a long time, but we'll see more later into timing at the end. The Two of Swords is them making a decision to do this. The Four of Wands is like wanting to, since they're together in person, that's how I'm taking it, like it would be in person, them wanting to meet up with you in person. And with the Eight of Wands, it would kind of be this energy of like, just almost trying to take action on the decision they're making. After a long time of not seeing you, almost coming in very quickly. The Page of Swords can represent them kind of like stalking your social media, being curious about you, checking up on you a lot before they do reach out. Maybe even like trying to get you to stalk their social media by like posting certain things to make you jealous. So that's what I see there. What would go through their mind before they reach out? So we have the Nine of Swords. There's a lot of worries going through their mind. anxieties going through their mind of what could go wrong before they reach out. We have Black Newman. I'll be honest, let me just cover this card. The High Priestess. I'll be honest, there is an energy here of I almost not necessarily want to hurt you emotionally, but there's almost this feeling of like I don't feel good enough. I feel insecure. I feel like I'm letting go of control. I feel like you're moving on from me, and I'm scared of you moving on from me. And now I feel like I almost have to do something to have that control again. I feel like they're doing this subconsciously, and with the High Priestess, it's like you can see their intentions clearly. And it's like you can see them clearly for who they are. Maybe there's this energy of like, I knew you would do something like this, or I knew you wouldn't change, or I knew you would still be the same version of yourself. You would almost have that reaction to them. And I know you don't want to hear this, but I'm just being honest with what I see here so that you know what to expect. There's almost this feeling of like, I want you to obsess over me the same way I've been obsessing over you. Maybe they've been kind of jealous, wondering if you're seeing other people, and trying to make you feel that same jealousy because they've been feeling it. So the Four of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. I see them almost coming in when you least expect it, trying to catch you off guard in some way. And I see them like literally planning to do it when you least expect it, coming in very sneakily, because in my mind's eye, I'm seeing someone like tiptoe somewhere sneakily. So it's almost like they're going to do it when you least expect it, and they're planning that in their head. The Ace of Wands is them almost like lusting after you, thinking lots of sexual thoughts about you, thinking about the passion and the spark and the chemistry you once had together. And with the Four of Pentacles, they're thinking about how attached they are to these moments with you, like attached they are to the chemistry you once had together, and they feel like they can't let that go. The High Priestess represents them picking up on your thoughts and feelings in their mind, thinking it's just their thoughts, and you may do this too. The High Priestess could represent your telepathic connection with each other, so you may pick up on their thoughts and feelings and think it's just your own thoughts, and vice versa too. Though I do feel like this connection is a soul connection, but it's showing up as quite karmic, and I feel like this person's still showing up in their shadow traits when they do show up, but it's coming from insecurities. Yeah, Seven of Swords confirms that. So we have the Empress. I'm hearing I don't want to let go. So they're kind of thinking that's in the moment before they reach out. The Empress, the Fool, the Chariot. There's this kind of feeling of, because I don't want to let go, I almost like want to do something that brings a shock factor to pile 2 so that they don't forget about me. But it's coming through in a way that isn't showing up in the best way with the Seven of Swords. It's not like they're showing up in the best way that would bring out a good reaction from you. Almost like rage baiting you or bringing out some kind of shock factor to see if you still care, because in their mind, they're thinking in this very twisted way of like, if I can get them angry, that means they still care. Which is a little bit of a twisted way to think, because that's not making it easier for, them to get you back in some way. It may lead to a fight between the two of you and them losing you for good, not leaving you for good, losing you for good. And I feel like they think it's going to change something in their mind. It's going to bring a new beginning. It's going to make you want them back. But in fact, it's actually going to do the opposite. So that's what I see in the energy. That may lead them to kind of like work on themselves to almost like try to get you back, because it's almost like this feeling of, I feel like we're meant to be. I feel like we are meant to be together. But because they're not showing up in the best way at first, it may push you away further. And that may almost cause them to start working on themselves for the connection. And that's what I see with the Lovers and Eight of Pentacles, the back of the deck. So I'm going to remove these and take a look at what they would say to you. So what would they say to break the silence between pile 2 and the person on their mind? What would they say to break the silence? We have the Chariot. If you live far from each other, they might travel to see you. But the Chariot can also represent traveling in their car to see you. The Devil, White Newman. And the Two of Pentacles. I see them coming in hot and strong. Almost like coming in with like this very intense energy with the Devil. But they might also like almost try to like flirt with you in a very sexual way with the Devil, like up front. Where it's not even like, hi, how are you? It's like you open the door to them and then they're like, oh, I missed your body. Like there's that kind of energy there with the Devil, right? Of like them almost like becoming sexual with their words way too fast, not even asking like, how are you? How have you been doing? It's kind of like coming on very strong. And the Devil is also them trying to make you jealous, trying to almost rage bait you in some way to see if you still care. So that could show through their words. I'm not sure what they'd actually say, but that's the general energy I see with the Devil. I almost see them metaphorically trying to break into your heart so that you don't forget about them. So I feel like, again, they're acting out because they don't want you to forget about them, because they're obsessing over you. They don't want to lose control. Not that they want to control you in any way, because I don't see those kind of intentions, but it's almost like I don't want to lose control. In the sense of I don't want you to stop loving me or forget about me or move on from me. And they might do that in not the best way with the Devil. Or like say something in not the best way to almost like get you attached to them again. I see them saying with the Two of Pentacles, we're the same. Like, you and me are exactly the same. You're my other half. How could you let me go? There is a little bit of guilt tripping with the Devil of like, how could you let me go? How could you do this to me? I don't think they're intentionally trying to guilt trip you, but there is an energy of you kind of feeling guilt tripped by them in some way, by their words. They may almost try to impress you in this not so best way by like trying to brag about what they have currently. So the cow here is reminding me of abundance, and the Two of Pentacles is reminding me of like physical possessions and values, like what I physically have. So for example, let's say they buy a new car and they're almost like trying to show off this new car to you, thinking it will impress you and make you want them back. Or, you know, talking about how successful they are now, how they're doing better financially now. But almost in this way of like trying to impress you, but in not the best way with the Devil. Like, oh, look at me now. Like, there's so much ego showing up here. The Empress, the Ace of Wands, it's not in this energy of like, oh, I'm so proud of myself for doing this, but it's more in this energy of bragging. So, and acting cocky in a way. The Empress, the Ace of Wands, and Eight of Wands. Yeah, the Ace of Wands is them saying sexual things to you, talking about their fantasies, how much they missed your body, like stuff like that. Almost like trying to grab you and kiss you. There's that kind of energy here, and I see you kind of like pulling away and being like, oh, get off me. Because they're not doing it in the best way and it's not impressing you, it's actually pushing you away further and it's making you very angry. Like, I see an image of them like kind of trying to grab you and kiss you and you being like, oh, get off me, pushing them away. And I see your face going very red. You know, in cartoons when somebody's face goes red and they have like the lines across their face like in anime movies, and then maybe there's like fire on their head because they're getting angry. That's what I see in your energy, which is making me think of anger. So yeah, not the best energy. So Black Newman, I almost hear they must break the cycle. They must break this karmic cycle. The High Priestess, the Knight of Swords. They won't say that they've been worried, but they might almost try to act out because of their fears. It's almost like this energy of like, I'm scared to lose you, but I'm not saying that because I don't want to be vulnerable yet. I don't want to like show my weaknesses, but they might act out to say things out of fear that are not the best, that almost push you away further again. So Spirit, give me examples of what that could possibly be. Like, for example, oh, I see you haven't like found anybody new. I'm sure you miss me a lot, like in a very cocky way. Or, yeah, you can't find somebody as good as me. It's almost like they act out of their fears, but not in the best way, like through the way they speak. It might not be that exactly, but that's the example Spirit's giving me. The Eight of Wands can represent them just speaking before thinking and kind of just saying things impulsively. With the Ace of Wands too. I see you guys even having like an argument with all this Wands energy. I see like an argument in my mind's eye. And then I see them kind of feeling defeated after, kind of like feeling like, oh, why did I do this? I fucked up bad, didn't I? I see them saying that to somebody else, like, I fucked up, didn't I? And the other person's kind of like, why did you do this? Why didn't you speak about this to me first? Like a friend of theirs. So for some reason, I'm seeing Coraline's button eyes in my mind's eye. Like when the other mother like tries to put the button eyes on her. I'm going to just try and see what that could mean symbolically. Okay, I'm just going on Google and seeing what it represents. Okay, so it says here in Coraline, the button eyes symbolize the other mother's desire for control and her view of people as objects to be manipulated. They represent a loss of individuality and freedom, as the buttons replace a person's true identity and trap them in the other world. If Coraline had agreed to sew the buttons on, it would have been symbolic death and surrender to her soul and will to the other mother. So it represents control and possession, loss of identity, a symbolic death, and trapping the soul. So it almost feels like this person wants to trap you, possess you again. It's not coming through as like, oh, I want you back. It's coming through as like, oh, I want to possess you again. Have control over you again. But with the Six of Cups, they may almost like try to win you back by like trying to say how good the memories were between the two of you, trying to be nostalgic in a way, and being like, I'm still the version of me that you left behind. Like, don't you miss our good memories together? Like, almost trying to persuade you in some way. So the Five of Pentacles, the Fool, and you saying like, I got so used to your behavior, to you acting this way that I never saw anything wrong with it. But now that I've taken a step back, I see who you truly are. So the Five of Pentacles, Tower, the Fool. They might say like, okay, I'm sorry that I did this. Like they might instantly realize like when you get angry at them and after you guys have like some kind of conflict, they might say like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll change. Like, can we start over? Like, I'm sorry I came back like this. Like, I feel bad that I've lost you. I feel like our relationship has fallen apart with the Tower and I'm sorry. Then they almost like become remorseful as a last resort to try to get you back. And with the Fool, it's like they kind of try to come in with this new energy of like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I feel like I've lost you with the Five of Pentacles. I feel like our relationship has fallen apart with the Tower. How can I fix it? Can I even fix it? So that's the energy there. Is there anything else they would possibly say to break the silence between them? The Ace of Cups, them saying, I still love you. You still have a place in my heart. And the Death card is about an ending. So you would possibly end the conversation there, close the door on them, because of their pride and ego with the Strength card at the back of the deck, because of the way they showed up. If they had shown up differently, maybe you would have been more open, receptive to their words, but because they came in this energy, you're like, nah, this is a red flag. So yeah, let's move on to the next question in terms of timing, when this could potentially happen. And even though I'm reading this current energy now, it doesn't mean it will happen this way. This is just a potential of the future based on the current energies. So if this person does do some inner work on themselves, they could show up in a different way. Because we're reading based on the current energy, which means they're still in this energy right now. Spirit, please give me a potential timing of when they could reach out. Please give me a potential timing of when they could reach out. We have the Emperor, the number 4, King of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups means for some of you, maybe they already tried to reach out in the past for some of you. And the 2 of Cups. So what I do want to say is the Cups cards do represent months, most likely. The number 4, 6, and 2 are standing out. So 2 months, 6 months, 4 months. The Emperor can also represent Aries season next year, if you're watching this now. And of course, this reading's timeless, so apply it to whenever you're watching. And the 6 of Cups could represent them reaching out when they feel nostalgic, when they're almost like missing your positive memories together. But the Emperor, again, could be a card about control sometimes. I don't always read the Emperor as a card of control, but they're showing up in this controlling energy because that's the dark side of the Emperor card. There's this fear of letting you go completely, and they might show up in that moment when they're like fearing you moving on, when they feel you moving on because of your telepathic connection. And I hear the word boundaries, so you might almost like set a boundary with them as they show up in that energy. They might also say certain things, certain like romantic or sexual things to almost like reel you back in. And you might almost fall for a second, but then you might like shake your head and realize like what's going on. So these cards together in terms of timing point to stability, emotional reconnection, but a slow and steady return. So the Emperor again represents Aries energy, which could be late March to mid-April. The element is fire, which means decisive once action is chosen. The timing feels slow to act, but once they decide, they move fast and directly. This could be within 4 weeks or, like I said, during an Aries season, depending on when they feel ready to take control again. I hear that you feel slighted by the way they do this, by the way they show up. The King of Pentacles is the earth element, which is Taurus energy most often. So it could also be within Taurus season. This timing feels very slow and deliberate. This person likes to be sure before acting. Timing Q could be 1 to 3 months or Taurus season, which is April to May for full stability. Then the 6 of Cups is water energy, which represents nostalgia and reconnection. The timing feels gentle and emotional, often appears when someone is reminiscing and thinking about returning, like I said earlier. So the timing cue for some of you is soon, within a few weeks. You might feel their energy resurface or get a sign, a dream memory, or social media moment before it happens. I'm giving different timings for different people here because there's so many people watching. And then the 2 of Cups. So this represents water emotional union. The timing feels reconnection or a heartfelt exchange. And this could happen within 2 to 6 weeks, depending on emotional readiness and communication. So this overall combo reads like they're taking their time, wanting to come in the right way, not impulsive. They may be planting some kind of seed for a serious reconnection. And then there's also an emotional longing here, nostalgia, mutual feelings that are still very present. Contact is likely once the emotional courage catches up to their cautiousness. Okay, so what I'm also seeing here for some of you is this could happen if this person decides to kind of like hold off on communicating, and some kind of like death and rebirth cycle happens metaphorically, which means they go through some kind of process of release, they could show up in a better way if they take longer to reach out, if they take their time on working on themselves. But I don't see that in the energy currently. But it doesn't mean it can't change later on. So now let's remove these cards and take a look at zodiacs and initials for extra confirmation. I also hear them saying, can we press the reset button on our connection, the pause button? Like, I almost feel like they would say to you, can we go back to the moment it all started? Or feeling like they could want to turn back time, or would want to turn back time, I mean. Okay, so zodiacs. I just pulled out the ones that stood out and fell out. So I'm going to remove these and get the initials. I keep feeling you like try to set a boundary or rule with them of like how they should show up. Like, don't show up again if you're not going to show up in a better energy. I'm just moving these around, taking the ones that stick out or fall out. For some of you, I feel like this person was almost like an energy vampire to you. They drained you. After you went through this breakup, did you have like some kind of glow up? Did you feel more like yourself again? Did you feel like the light is coming back into your life, like you're better without this person? If so, that could mean something. Scorpio and Libra. We have Aquarius. So let me know how this has resonated for you so far in the comments below. How do you feel about the messages that came through? And let me know if your zodiac or initial or theirs comes out. So Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, and Cancer. I feel like the energy feels limited because they haven't done any work on themselves. So we have N, we have A, we have T, E, Nate is a name that's coming up here, V, D. It's also reminding me of Nate from Euphoria. I don't know why. E, U, M. EU also reminds me of Europe. Maybe someone here is from Europe. MC and A. So that is your reading. I do hope this resonated with you. Please let me know how it resonated down in the comments below. Please also don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you like my readings and want to check out my membership to see more exclusive content of mine, I would appreciate that. Thank you for watching and being here, and I can't wait to see you next time. Pile 3, you chose the Citrine crystal and the Nine of Cups. That we're going to take a look at what would they say to you to break the silence between you for your no contact situation. So let's get straight into your reading. So I heard breaking the vows, which makes me think that maybe some of you are divorced. This is someone you've divorced, or maybe you and this person made certain promises to each other that one party broke. Don't take it if it's not applicable. Don't force the message. We will get more messages now. I also heard cord cutting ritual, so maybe some of you did cut some kind of cord to this person, or you cut this person out of your life because you felt like it was needed at the time. Let's see what comes up in the cards though. So how would they break their silence? Can we tap into the energy of the person on pile 3's mind? How would they break the silence? We have the Hermit. We have Justice. And we have 4 swords with the 2 of Pentacles. So the 4 swords represents them coming back in this calm demeanor. They're not really in a rush to come back, not because they don't want you back, but because they're kind of learning to be okay on their own with the Hermit. So your union may take time if that's something you want still. Or if you're watching out of curiosity and don't want this person back, take it how it applies. But this person is learning to be okay on their own. And when I connected to this energy, it felt very peaceful from this person's side. So I almost feel like this person would reach out when they're in a place of peace, relaxation, mental relaxation, when they're in a place of like, I'm okay on my own. I've self-reflected on the past and why this didn't work out in the past. And now I can come up with a conclusion of why it didn't work out and grow in a way. I feel like with the Hermit, they're coming back grown, more mature in some way. Even with the Two of Pentacles, they're coming back in this more mature, grounded energy. And with Justice, they're coming back truthful, honest, with integrity. Even if they weren't showing up like that before, that's what's showing up with Justice. And if they were always honest, then they are coming back honest as well. The Nine of Cups represents them also reflecting on what they want with the Hermit next to it. So before they come back, they would first reflect on if they even want this back, if it's even good for you to be together. And maybe that would also give you time to reflect on if you even want this person back or not, if you feel happier without them or not. So they're only going to do this when they're at this place of mental clarity of this is what I want for sure, and I know this is what I want for sure. So they're not going to come back unsure. That's what I see. I see them reaching out over the phone. I saw this in all three piles, but I see them possibly stalking your social media before they reach out, trying to kind of like figure out where your head is at based on what you're posting. Trying to also make sure you're not with somebody else before they reach out, because that would be awkward. Now, what I will say is I see them kind of reaching out on some kind of special occasion. Like, for example, let's say it's your birthday and they reach out of nowhere to say happy birthday to you. Or let's say it's Christmas, if you're watching now during November time, but this is timeless. And they're like, Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. There's something about like either messaging you on a special occasion where they could kind of use that as an excuse to message you, or messaging you out of nowhere, but kind of just like, when a person like doesn't talk to you for a long time and then out of nowhere they're just like, hey, how are you? There's not really much they're saying, but they just come back with a, hey, how are you? And you're like curious, why is this person messaging me? Why are they not saying what's on their mind? Why is it just like, hey, how are you? Or I'm seeing this energy of like, I'm reaching out to almost like make some kind of excuse to talk to you. Like, let's say I'm replying to your story with an emoji or saying, oh, you look good lately, like how have you been? Or kind of just like reaching out with an excuse of like, oh, I remember that you left this at my house, I want to return it to you. There's kind of this feeling of like, I want to make up some kind of excuse to talk to you or see you in a way that is less awkward. Okay, so what would go through their mind before they reach out? We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Devil. We have the Fool. What would go through their minds before they reach out? The Nine of Swords. What would go through their mind before they reach out? Ace of Cups. Let me just cover this. Oh my gosh, the High Priestess. Okay, so I see a lot of nervousness here, a lot of anxiety, which is why they're trying to like reach out in a way that like they can make an excuse to talk to you so that it's less awkward for them. Because I see them feeling very awkward, like what do I even say? Like how do I even make conversation with them? And then they have an idea of, oh, I can just reach out like on their birthday or on Christmas Day or whatever, and like make some kind of excuse to talk to them again. The Ace of Wands and the Devil is about thinking about their desires, especially with the Nine of Cups here. They would think a lot about what they desire, and if they have their mindset on like, oh, I desire you and this connection back, then they would reach out. But they'd kind of think about it for a while, like, am I sure this is what I truly want? They'd kind of doubt, overthink it a little bit, think like, I need to be sure this is what I truly want because I don't want to play with your heart or your feelings. I need to be sure that this is what I desire. And I see them kind of like looking back at old photos of you together to see if it still brings up feelings for them. And I also see them kind of talking to you, messaging you to test if you also feel that same way, because it doesn't help they feel that way and you don't want them back. You know what I mean? So I see them kind of like reaching out to see if those feelings are still there, if they still feel something when they talk to you, like those feelings of joy they once had when they did talk to you previously, if they still feel that obsession, that desire, sexual desire, attraction, that chemistry, that bond there. But not only that, not only like the lust, not only the chemistry, but it's like, do I still feel those heart-centered feelings of devotion, of love for this person when I reach out? And that's kind of like where they're kind of testing the waters to see how they feel, to see how you feel, to see what the vibe is when they reach out. So when they reach out, it's not like they have their mindset on like, this is what I want, but they're kind of like testing the waters to see if that's what they truly want. But they would only reach out if they already have some kind of idea of like, I do kind of want this person back. I do kind of miss them, and I do kind of like see us still being together. They would only reach out if that feeling was present. And I do see that feeling being present before they maybe reach out. The Fool represents them also thinking about starting anew with you, starting fresh. And with the High Priestess, it's kind of like they still feel very connected to you even though you've been far apart. They would wonder if you would feel the same way, if that feeling would be mutual, if you would still want them back anyways. So that's what I see. Let's remove these cards and take a look at our next question. What would they say to break the silence? I see them kind of like trying to bring up an inside joke with you to see if it lands right. Again, I see them like moving slowly, trying to test the waters, trying to see if the feelings are neutral there, trying to see if they talk to you. It's kind of like this reconnecting kind of feeling of like, I'm trying to catch up with you, I'm trying to reconnect with you, I'm trying to see what the vibe is between us, if we still feel that same way about each other, if that spark we once had is still there, if the feelings we once had are still there. And that's kind of going through their mind as they're speaking to you. So the Ace of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Temperance. There's a huge fear of letting you go as they're reaching out. Temperance, the Fool. And with Temperance, it might take a while for them to reach out. There might be like some time between the two of you where you're both spending time alone without each other before this happens. But like I said, we'll see later during the timing part of the reading to see what comes up there. I see them asking how you've been feeling like being alone. I see them kind of like trying to ask you and see how you're feeling, see if you're okay. I see this very compassionate energy with the Queen of Cups popping out here when I split the deck of like, I want to check in with you to see how you're feeling. I want to make sure you're okay. I kind of just like still care about you and I want to make sure you're okay. So that's the kind of feeling coming through here. And the Hermit, when I split the deck, is them kind of trying to check like how it's been for you being alone and how you're feeling like after all this time. They're trying to see like where your head is at and how you're feeling. They're trying to not control the situation. They're kind of just trying to like go with the flow, relax, see how things go, see how the conversation goes, not plan things out too much in their head in case they get disappointed, in case things don't go their way. But yeah, with Temperance here, it's kind of like they might be slow to respond. They might also be slow to respond, not because they don't want to respond, but because they're trying to like think about what to respond back like properly to make sure this goes their way. But also they're trying to like not force things too much. They're kind of just trying to go with the flow and see where things lead, if that makes sense. So they would talk about the new things that are kind of happening in their life, and they would ask you if you have any news, if anything new has happened in your life, kind of like a catch-up session, if that makes sense, with the Fool. They would talk about the time spent apart and what it was like during that long period of time. And it will feel like a very peaceful conversation, like they're at peace with themselves, and you'll feel that energy when you speak to them. They might even say that, but I do feel like you'll sense that energy of peacefulness with them when they do reach out. The Queen of Pentacles is possibly talks about career, what you guys have both been doing during your time apart, maybe achievements, things like that. The Ace of Wands is them complimenting you in some way, complimenting the way you look, saying you look sexy or hot or something like that. And even if it's not sexy or hot, there is that underlying feeling of them still feeling a lot of attraction to you. And maybe even if they don't say that, there is that underlying feeling when they compliment you. There's still like a lot of desire here with the Ace of Wands. There's still that spark that they're feeling. And they're wondering if you feel that too, but I don't think they're brave enough to ask yet. I don't think they're going to ask that quick, but it may be in their mind while they're talking to you, and they may almost think, okay, I should ask them later. I should take my time here with the Hangman and not come on too strong, even though I want to, because I'm afraid I might scare them away, or it just ends badly with a Tower and I regret it later. So with the Hangman, it's kind of like, even though they want to come on strong with the Ace of Wands, it's kind of like they stop themselves from doing so, and they kind of take it slow with you in the conversation and see where the conversation leads naturally without trying to force anything like that. They might talk about like what they kind of, the new perspectives they've kind of seen from why your connection fell apart in the first place. They may talk about a little bit of like their perspective of it. You might talk about your perspective of it, and you might just have like this very enlightening conversation of like, this is my perspective of why things ended. This is your perspective of why things ended. And there's like this mutual discussion of you both adding on to what you both felt like when it ended, how you feel about it now, etc. They might say, I've waited a long time to speak to you. I was very nervous and I wanted to work on myself and kind of grow as a person, be alone. They might tell you that. And they might tell you that, like, I've been waiting a long time to kind of just talk to you again. It's been so long. I've missed you in some way. They might talk about the heartbreak they felt like when things ended, because the sword is through his heart, which kind of reminds me of the Three of Swords. We have the Seven of Pentacles. They will put in a lot of effort into keeping the conversation going so that the conversation doesn't die out of nowhere. We have the Magician. We have the Two of Swords. I see them being clear with their intentions of what they want to do after you guys have kind of like catched up and spoke for a while and spoke about like why you both think things ended and like both your perspectives on that and how you've kind of like realized this and realized that after time spent apart. After you have that conversation, they will be clear with their intentions and say, look, I do want to reconnect with you. I do want to like have a new start to our connection. I do miss you. But I also don't want to force you to want that too. Like, they're kind of trying to see where your head is at, if you want that too or not. And they're saying that I will give you time to make a decision. You don't have to make a decision now. We can also just talk a little bit, see how we both feel about each other now. Maybe make plans to meet up in the near future and see where things go. there's this feeling of I don't want to put pressure on you to make a decision. And if we do decide to maybe reconnect, I want to make sure that I make decisions that aren't going to lead to the same old things that happened in the past. In regards to why the connection ended in the first place, I don't want to do those same things. And I'm hoping that we can leave the past in the past and forgive each other and move on from that. And I'm sorry for everything that happened before. There's a lot of regrets that they're going to tell you about, like regretting not reaching out sooner, regretting what happened in the past, and saying, I want to make better decisions in the future and learn from the mistakes of the past so that it doesn't happen again. But again, they're saying, I don't want to put too much pressure on you or too much pressure on the connection. Let's see where things go. We have the Empress. We have the Chariot. We have the King of Swords. I see them listening to you for a bit, asking if they can call you after texting you a bit. I see like Instagram for some reason, or some kind of social media app where you guys are like talking on, and I see this energy of like them asking, can I call you? I miss hearing your voice. Like, I'd like to talk over the phone. It's easier to talk over the phone than type everything out. And I see you agreeing to it, and I see you maybe like talking about yourself a little bit, kind of like talking about what you've been doing over time, how you've been feeling. The Chariot here can represent you also talking about the things you've overcome, like from the breakup, from this no contact situation, like how you kind of overcame that hurt and pain, how you found self-love with the Empress, how you're starting to love yourself, and you learn to be alone and love yourself during that process. You might also tell them about like a travel trip you recently had or something. If you have planned a travel trip soon over the next year or so, even if you haven't, you might travel before this person reaches out and tell them about that trip you had. That's not for everybody, but for some. If you have pets, I see them asking like how your pets are doing, saying they miss your pets or something, and then I see you like changing the phone call to video call and showing them your pets, and them saying hello to them if that's applicable, or vice versa if they're the ones with pets. I see that too. I just see them also telling you what's been on their mind recently, like about you, telling you that they've been thinking about you a lot. The Two of Cups. They're going to tell you that they still have feelings for you, but they want to make sure that it doesn't end on bad terms again, and that there's almost like this energy of, I want to make sure you don't reject me, so I'm like scared to say this, but I want to say it, but like maybe I'm taking my time to get to the point. Maybe I'm rambling a little bit. Five of Swords could represent them wanting to say that, but maybe like stopping themselves from saying it. But then there's also like this overthinking energy of like, if I don't say this, what if the conversation just ends here and we never speak again? So there's kind of like this back and forth of, should I say how I feel or not, because it could change everything, but I don't know if it's going to change it for the better or for the worst. You know, I think they're very afraid of your rejection here with the Five of Pentacles. And they always want to feel chosen by you. They want your validation, but they wouldn't say that. The conversation would just feel very peaceful and like you're reconnecting in some way. So that is all I'm seeing for this aspect of the reading. Now we're going to take a look at timing, when this could potentially happen. So the potential timing of when they could possibly reach out for pile 3, please. Person on their mind. We have the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Cups. We have the Three of Pentacles. And we have the Hermit. So the Hermit confirms what I said earlier, that they will kind of just like learn to be alone for some time, reflect first, gain self-awareness first. They're only going to come back when they come back grown and more matured, and like they feel like they reflected on this enough, reflected on what they wanted enough, because they don't want to like mess with your feelings or your heart and like come back strong and then later change their mind. There's also something about like, I want to make sure I've learned from the past. I want to make sure I've reflected on all that. I want to make sure I'm okay alone first, and I'm not just coming back to you because I don't want to be alone. So that is a great thing to see, even though the energy is a little bit slow moving here with those Temperance card and the Pentacle cards here. The Temperance card that came up earlier, and the Pentacle cards here can represent slow moving energy. Cups can typically represent months, and Pentacles sometimes can represent months to years. But I don't feel like that's for all of you. I'm going to give different timings of what I see here, so just take it how it resonates because there's many of you watching. But note that timing is not set in stone. Even if we see this energy here, it can change later in the future because we're reading it based on the current energies. So keep that in mind. I keep seeing them like try to make you laugh in some way. Try to like joke with you a little bit, keep the conversation a little bit lighthearted because they're nervous. And I see them having like a big smile as they're talking to you. So this energy carries a slow, thoughtful, but hopeful vibe. Like someone quietly working on themselves before opening up emotionally again. So the Eight of Pentacles represents Earth, Virgo energy. The timing feels slow, but consistent effort. This card means it's often in progress, like things are happening behind the scenes. It's not yet visible in the 3D, but it's being built on behind the scenes. So they're already starting to work on themselves as we speak right now, as you watch this reading, depending on when you're watching this. It is timeless. So the timing from when you're watching could be about 8 weeks or during Virgo season, which is late August to September. Then the Ace of Cups is water energy, which represents a new emotional connection or beginning between the two of you. The timing feels fast once it opens. So once you do actually have communication, things could move pretty quickly, even though you're both intending to move slowly, if you want them back, of course. This is the spark of new love or emotional renewal. This could be 1 to 4 weeks when someone finally opens their heart or reaches out emotionally. Then the Three of Pentacles is Earth again, representing collaboration and rebuilding. So this is going to be a gradual process, usually indicates rebuilding trust or communication step by step, and seeing where you're both at, seeing if you can both make it work, if you can be compatible once you do start the communication. This timing cue is 3 to 6 weeks, slow but steady reconnection efforts. And they will put in a lot of effort as well with the Eight of Pentacles once they do reach out. The Hermit is also Virgo energy. So Virgo energy is coming up strongly, even if it's not the month they reach out. Maybe for some of you, you're a Virgo or they're a Virgo. Okay, this is Earth energy representing introspection and solitude. The timing feels paused right now because they're in that reflection period. Movement happens after someone learns what they need to from their alone time. Timing cue feels delayed, but it usually resolves within 6 to 9 weeks when clarity comes through. So they're currently focusing inward, reflecting, maybe working on themselves, career or emotional maturity. Reconnection starts with small practical gestures, maybe testing the waters on like communication, like I said before, and emotional renewal follows a new start or honest expression of feelings. Now I'm going to remove these cards and take a look at the zodiacs. So if your zodiac or theirs comes up or initial comes up, then that's just confirmation. Even if it doesn't and you resonated, then that's enough. So let's just move this around and see what sticks out or falls out. Oh my gosh, these cards, well, not cards, papers are stuck together. Okay, I feel like we have enough there. I'm going to remove these and get the initials now. I'm hearing patience. So a lot of patience is needed if you want this person back, because I do feel like you guys have like a very beautiful connection. I don't know what happened between you two before, but I'm seeing like the future between you two could be very beautiful if you still want this person back. Of course, that's your decision. But the energy in the future feels very beautiful, no matter what happened in the past. Okay. I also see them buying you a gift, like earrings, for example. We have Pisces. So let me know how this resonated for you so far in the comments below, how you feel about this reading, if you even want them back. And I'm hearing they might make some kind of sacrifice or compromise with you when they do reach out. So Leo, Virgo, Aries. I also hear that they might try to like spare your feelings in some way. I don't know what that means. But I see like sacrifice from them almost like compromising for you in some way, so that you have what you want. So Pisces, Leo, Virgo, Aries, Taurus, and Aquarius. So I, O, Z, I, J, B. Oh, we also have one extra zodiac with Gemini. And the energy between you two will feel very heartfelt to you. JB reminds me of Justin Bieber. I don't know if someone here likes Justin Bieber. M-O-T P and V. So that is what I have for you, Pal 3. I do hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this resonated down in the comments below. Did your zodiac or initial or theirs come up? Let me know down in the comments. Also, if you like my readings and you want to see more exclusive content of mine, I do have a membership up now where I'm releasing videos every week if you want to see that. So yeah, thank you for watching and being here, and I can't wait to see you next time.